Hello. Ayan po. Kumusta po mga kaguro, mga magulang at mga mag-aaral sa ikalimang baitang? Naway kayo po'y nasa mabuting kalagayan. At eto na, sa ating panibagong episode, tawagin na muli si Bunso, si Kuya at si Ate o kaya naman ang buong pamilya. Dahil tayo'y magsisimula na. Sabay-sabay nating isigaw. Tara na! Matuto! At ayan, welcome to our Mathematics 5, week number 9 ng ating second quarter. And I think ito yung ating panghuling week para sa ating second quarter. And today's episode, the objectives are, first, you are going to find the missing term in a pair of equivalent ratios. The second is that you need to define and of course recognize proportion and its kind, the direct proportion. At yan ang ating tatalakayin. But of course, let's have first our first topic, how to find the missing term in a pair of equivalent ratios. So in the previous week, tinalakay natin ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng equivalent ratios. Ating balikan, mga bata. First thing is that when we say equivalent ratios, these are ratios that have the same value when simplified. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, kapag given ang dalawang ratio, then you need to find the lowest term of the higher term and you get the lowest term, it means they are equivalent ratios. And another thing, when we say equivalent ratios, it can be obtained by multiplying or dividing both sides by the same non-zero number. Let us try our first method. We call that cross-product method. For example, we have 2/3 and we have 6/9. Tingnan natin kung talagang they are equivalent ratios. By using the cross-product method, we have 2 times 9 is equal to how many? We have 18. And also multiply 3 times 6 is also 18. Therefore, 2/3 is really equivalent or equal to 6/9. We have another method. We call this means and extremes. We are going to multiply. First, we have 3 is to 4. Is it really equal? 9 is to 12. Okay? By using the means and the extremes. Okay? Let us multiply first the means. We have, when we say means, these are the inner numbers. So 4 and 9 ang tinatawag nating means. So we have 36 and also multiply the extremes. These are the extremes means they are the outer numbers. So 3 times 12 is 36. Therefore, 3 is to 4 is equal or equivalent to 9 is to 12. And we have the last method, simplest form. Now, let us find the simplest form of 6 and 9 by dividing their greatest common factor, or GCF. When we divide 6 divided by 3, we have 2. 9 divided by 3, we have 3. It means that 6/9 is equivalent or equal to 2/3. Also, if we have given like this is the higher term. Let us divide the greatest common factor of 9 and 12. And what is that? Yes, it's also 3. 9 divided by 3, we have 3. 12 divided by 3, we have 4. Therefore, if we get the lowest term or the simplest form of the higher term, it means we get now the equivalent ratios. Okay, so that's how are we going to get the equivalent ratios. So let's have now our first topic. We have finding the missing term in a pair of equivalent ratios. Okay? And now let's have this problem. During weekends, Marie helps her mother sell buko juice. O isang mabait na bata itong si Maria, no? Dahil tumutulong siya every weekend. For every one buko, Marie adds 3 liters of water. So, kapag naglalagay si Marie ng isang buko, yung sabaw nito, nilalagyan niya o dinadagdagan niya ng 3 liters of water. How many liters of water does she need for 4 buko so that the taste will be the same? So, how many liters of water daw ang kailangan kung ang kanyang ilalagay ay 4 na buko? Okay, now, let us follow the 4 main steps in solving problems. First, let us understand what is asked in the problem. Okay, we are going to look for the liters of water that Marie needs for 4 buko so that the taste will be the same. So yun ang ating hinahanap. The second, what are the given? We have 1 buko. For every 1 buko, we need or Marie adds 3 liters of water. So another given is what if there are 4 buko? So 4 na buko. So ilang litro ang kailangan? Okay. So let us now plan. So by giving or using a table, we can solve a problem. So paano yon, no? So how are we going to use the table? So let's try. This is now the table. So we have number of buko. So according to the problem, we have 1 buko, di ba? Then we have the amount of water in liters. So according to the problem, we have 1 buko, 3 liters. So let us get first step by step. What if, kasi ang hinahanap natin ay 4 buko, isa-isahin natin. For example, 2 buko. Tingnan natin kung ilan. Okay, so if there are buko na, so ilang litro na yan? So na-double. So we are going to multiply also by 2. 3 times 2, we have 6. Okay, what if there are 3 buko? Ayan. So 3 buko na. So we multiply also, no? So 1 times 3, kaya nakuha natin yung 3. So let's multiply also. 3 times 3, we have 9. And what if ito na yung ating tanong? 4 buko. Ayan. So if there are 4 buko now, let us find. So paano yan? 1 times 4, we have 4. So let's multiply also by 4. 3 times 4, so we have now 12 liters of water. So we have now the final answer as 12 liters. So yun ang kinakailangan para hindi pa rin mawawala or magbabago yung lasa ng buko. Okay, so that's one strategy, no? So another strategy in finding the missing term, so ito yung madalas na ginagamit, kaya panoorin yung mabuti. Okay, by using the what? Yes, the equation. So ito na ang equation natin. So let's have another table. Okay, so if there are number, again, let us use a table, no? So we have number of buko, 1 buko, then the amount of water in liters, we have 3 liters. So ito yung given natin. 1 buko is equivalent to 3 liters. Now, so we have another given. What if there are 4 buko? So ilang litro ang hinahanap? So let us create an equation. So paano pa natin ginagawa ang equation? So we have the first ratio. 1:3 is equal to 4:9. We have now, ito na yung ating equation. Okay, what's next? So, we will apply now multiplying the means and the extremes. Okay, so paano tayo magmumultiply? So we have the means, ito yung means natin. Ito naman yung tinatawag natin extremes. Okay, so paano? Anong sirang uunahin ko? So bahala kayo kung anong uunahin. Pero this time, para mabilis at maganda at maayos yung ating pagsusolve, kung nasaan yung letter N, yung term na hinahanap natin, ay yun ang ating uunahin para maayos tayo. Okay? Okay? So nandito yung N. So anong part yung N na yan? Is that means or extreme? Okay, nasa gilid siya, outer. So ito yung means, ito yung extreme. So extreme ang unahin natin. So we are going to multiply first the extreme, then the second is the means. Okay. Now, We have 1 times n, ito na yung extreme natin, then multiply the extremes, 3 times 4. So what's the product of 1 times n? Pag nag-multiply tayo ng 1 times n, ang sagot lagi dyan ay 1n or n. Okay. Then 3 times 4 equals 12. Okay. Now, so nasagot na natin. Therefore, the answer is 12. So we have now the missing term as 12. Okay? We have now the final answer, 12 liters of water Marie needs in order to put so that the taste will be the same. Okay, yan ang kanyang ilalagay. Now, what if I want to check? How are we going to check? No, the last step in solving the problem is to check now your answer. Paano, sir? Simple lamang po, using again multiplying the means and the extreme. So we have now substitute the value, di ba? We have 1 is to 3, 1 is to 3 is equal to 4, 4 is to n. So ang value ng n natin ay 12. Check natin kung 12 ang sagot ay tama. Multiply the means, we have 3 times 4, we have 12, and multiplying the extremes, 1 times 12 is also 12. That means the answer 12 is correct. Okay, did you understand? So let's try some more. Let's have some examples. Again, let's have our first example. What if we have this equation? N is to 7 is equal to 6 is to 3. So what is the missing value? By the way, kahit anong letter po yan, ha, ibig sabihin kung letter po ang nakalagay dyan, ibig sabihin po yun yung nawawalang term, yun yung hahanapin nyo. So, hindi lang N ang ginagamit sa ibang mga examples, no? May A, may B, or baka ma-confuse lang kayo. Okay, so ang gamitin lang natin ay N kasi yun yung common at yun ang familiar sa inyo. Pero kung ibang letter yan ay walang problema yan, no? Ibig sabihin yun yung nawawalang term. So, we have this equation. Saan ba yung nawawala? Sa means ba or sa extremes? Ayan. So we have, okay, nasa extreme. So multiply natin to muna, n times 3 and we have 7 times 6. Okay. Diba? Ito yung nawawala natin. So what is n times 3? We have 3n. Then multiply also 7 times 6. We have 42. Okay. Now, in order to eliminate or mawala yung 3, ano ang operation na gagawin natin? So we are going to divide. Divide natin ito by 3. Siyempre, para mawala yung kasi 3 divided by 3 is 1. So 1n is n. Diba? Okay, now, kung nag-divide tayo ng 3, dapat we also divide 42 by 3. Kung anong dinivide natin. Depends kung ano yung katabi ni n. So we have now n. So tanggalin na natin yung 3. So ang natira natin ay n. Then 42 divided, divided by 3, we have 14. So ang nawawala daw ay 14. So check natin, sir. Tingnan natin kung tama. So substitute natin, 14 is to 7 is equal to 6 is to 3. Okay, let us multiply 7 times 6, 42. 14 times 3, also 42. So equal, ibig sabihin they are really equivalent ratios kapag 14 yung ating sagot. So it means that the answer 14 is correct. Okay, nakaka-follow ba? Let's have the second example. Ayan. Pwede nyo akong sabayan, ha, kung may papel kayo dyan. So this is another example. What if we have this equation? 14 is to 21 is equal to 2 is to n. And what is the missing term? Ayan, nasaan na naman yung term? Nasa extreme pa rin, no? So unahin natin, 14 times n equals 21 times 2. Ayan na. Wow. 14 times n, yun yung extremes. Tapos ito yung means, 21 times 2. So what is 14 times n? Obviously, we have 14n. And what is 21 times 2? We have 42. Nakuha. O, paano mawawala ang 14? Anong ginagawa natin? Yes, we are going to divide. Ano i-divide natin para mawala yung 14 sa n? Of course, it's 14. 14. Divide mo rin to sa 14. So 14 divided by 14 equal to 1. Kaya 1n is equal to n. So 42 divided by 14, what's the answer? Yes, it's 3. Okay, nakuha po. Ang nawawala dito ay 3. Check natin, sir. All right. Let us check. Let us substitute now. 14 is to 21 is equal to 2 is to, ano yung nakuha natin? 3. Check natin kung tama ang 3 by multiplying the means. 21 times 2, 42. Multiplying the extremes, 14 times 3, we have 42. It means they are equal. So, that means the answer 3 is correct. Yes. Okay, let's have the last example. Okay, what if we have this equation? 4 is to 7 is equal to n is to 14. Gusto bang kunin kung anong sagot? Sige, post it now. Okay, ayan. Ibig sabihin, pag nilay mo na, you have now the answer. Okay, so i-check natin yung sagot mo. Okay, so nasaan yung nawawala? Nasa means. So itong i-multiply mo na 7 times n. Ayan, tapos 4 times 14. Okay? Kasi nandun yung nawawala. 7 times n sa means. Then 4 times 14. Okay ba? Nakaka-follow? Okay. Let's multiply 7 times n. What's the answer? Very good. 7 times n. What about 4 times 14? Yes, it's 56. Okay. Ayan, 7. Paano mawawala yung 7? Anong gagawin natin? Very good. Divide natin. Okay. Ano ang i-divide natin? Yes, 7. Divide both by 7. Then, tanggalin na natin yung 7. So, ang matitira ay n. Divide mo naman yung 56 divided by 7. We have the answer. So, ang nawawala daw doon ay 8. Alright. So, check natin, sir. Alright, substitute natin kung 8 ang nandito. Tingnan natin kung tama ba. What is 7 times 8? 56. What is 4 times 14? Also 56. That means na ang nawawala ay A. Nakuha mo ba ang tamang sagot? Well, I think you are great. Okay, so we are done now with our first topic and let's proceed now by the next topic. Kilalanin natin ano bang ibig sabihin ng proportion and how are we going to recognize direct proportion. Actually, we have 3 different forms of proportion. But in grade 5, we will just concentrate first sa direct proportion. Okay, wag na natin patagalin pa. Okay, we have meaning of proportion. When we say proportion, it is a statement of equality between two ratios. Sa madaling salita, when the two ratios are equal or equivalent ratios, they are or they form a proportion. Okay? So yun na yung pinakatawag natin. Pag may nakita kayong dalawang ratios na equal, equivalent, and they are in the form of proportion. Okay. So, nagkakaintindihan ba tayo? Okay, now, each part of a proportion is a term. Okay, paniliwanag ko na sa inyo dati yan. The first and the last terms are called, anong tawag? Extremes. And the second and the third terms are called the means. For example, we have 4 is to 5 is equal to 8 is to 10. So they are equivalent. They are equal ratios. Therefore, they are or they form a proportion. Okay. They are in proportion rather. Okay? Nagkakaintindihan po tayo. Okay. So, ano yung sinasabi mo, sir, na extremes? Sabi dito, ito yung first term, ito yung second term, ito yung third term, at ito yung last term. So, sabi dyan, the first term and the last term are the extremes, di ba? And the second term and the third term ay ang mga tinatawag na means. Okay. So, paano nga ulit chine-check natin kung they are equal or they are proportion? Let's multiply lang. The means, 5 times 8, 40. 4 times 10, is also 40. So they are equal, they are equivalent, and they are in proportion. Okay, ayan na ha. Okay, let's have another example. We have 12 is to 6. Is it equal to 6 is to 3? Let's check. Paano ba? 6 times 6, 36. Extremes, 12 times 3 is also 36. So they are equal, they are equivalent. Therefore, they are in proportion. Okay na ba tayo? So ano naman sir yung sinasabi mong direct proportion? When we say direct proportion, when, okay, one quantity increases, the other quantity also increases at the same rate and vice versa. Ibig sabihin daw, pag yung isang quantity ay nag-increase, dapat yung pangalawang quantity din ay nag increase. Or kung halimbawa, nag-decrease yung unang quantity, dapat yung pangalawa ay mag-decrease din. Para mas lalong malinawan, etong dalawang ito ang example ng direct proportion. They are in direct proportion. Bakit? So we have 4, di ba? Yung 4 natin, yung first term natin, then the second term, naging 8. Nag-increase ba? Correct. Okay. Na-double, di ba? 4 times 2, we have 8. Let's try the second term. 5, na-double din ba siya? Nag-increase ba siya? Yes! So, parehas silang nag-increase at the same rate. Ibig sabihin, they are in direct proportion. Okay. Sir, yung pangalawa, bakit mo nasabing sila ay in direct proportion? Okay, we have 12, di ba? Well, let's check muna if they are really proportional. Check na natin. We multiply the means and the extreme. Then, 12, then naging 6. So, nabawasan. 6, naging 3. Nabawasan din. Nag-increase or nag-decrease? Yes, sila ay nag-decrease. Parehas ba yung rate ng kanilang increase? Yes, 12 divided by 2, naging 6. 6 divided by 2, naging 3. So, parehas lang po. Or, paano ba sir malalaman pa kung talagang same sila? I-lowest term mo to, 8 and 10 or 8 is to 10, divide natin yan sa 2, magiging 4 is to 5. Or eto naman, pag nilowest term natin ito, divide sa 2, magiging 6 is to 3. Or kapag nilowest term pa natin yan, magiging 2 is to 1 yan. Okay. So, they are what you call direct proportion. Again, when we say direct proportion, when one quantity increases, the other quantity increases. Or when one quantity decreases, the other quantity decreases also. So they are called direct proportion. Let's try some more. We have this activity, recognize the following if it is in direct proportion. So if you want to try, please get a piece of paper and try to answer. Just say or just write yes or no. We have number 1, number 2, and we have number 3. So, I give you time. Pause it now. Okay, since piniplay mo na ito, ibig sabihin, you are done. Okay, kung hindi pa, pause mo pa rin. Number 1, is it direct proportion? Yes or no? The answer is yes. All right, so we have 5 becomes 25. 6 becomes 30. So, they are in direct proportion. Na-multiply natin by 5 pareho. What about number 2? Is it yes or no? The answer? Yes. Okay, we have 14, nag-decrease siya, naging 7. We have 12, nag-decrease din siya by 6. So both decrease by, ayan, 14 divided by 2, naging 7. 12 divided by 2, naging 6. So, the same rate of decrease. Okay, now, what about number 3? Is it yes or no? The answer is no. We have 20 naging 25. So nag-increase siya. Yung pangalaman 20 naging 16. Nag-decrease naman siya. It means it's not in direct proportion. Okay, nalinawan na ba tayo sa proportion at sa direct proportion? Okay. If hindi pa, then you have to replay or you have to look for your self-learning module, and there are several concepts or examples na makikita sa iyong SLM. Okay, and that's it for our week number 9. And before I end, syempre, hindi mawawala ito. I would like to shout out sa mga sumusunod. Alam nyo, marami nang napupuntahan yung ating mga episodes, no? So, I would like to say thank you very much po sa mga sumusunod. We have AOT_fun. Ayan, from Imos Pilot Elementary School. We have Andrew Emmanuel Vego from Maharlika Integrated School, Taguig City. Hello sa inyong lahat. And also, Gina Roberto. Timothy Charles Santayana from Gulang-Gulang Elementary School. Hello po, maraming salamat. Shout out din kina Prince Eric Malto from Teodoro R. Iangco School. Miriam De La Cruz, hello po. Salamat po sa inyong ito. We have Zymar Miras, Anika Faith Seriegan, Sir Michael Parel of San Antonio Elementary School. Hello, sir. Thank you po. Ronela Magdao, Rochelle Bragas, and also shout out to James Bryant, Diego Bernal, Dalia Cassandra Tagakay, Stephanie Ancheta Vlogs, Micah Patricia Dometita, Jonathan SNP. Thank you so much po. And of course, to the following, thank you so much, Fatima Troyo, Carl Jubanta Boy, Kendra Bahar, Zarid Garcia, and Luther R. Sega. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. And thank you very much. And that concludes our week number 9. Happy learning!
Sorry, it's DJ.